Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel where we meticulously dissect the most pressing and dramatic developments emanating from the hallowed halls of the British royal family. Today, we are diving deep into a subject that has been simmering dangerously for weeks, a potential crisis that threatens to expose secrets that could rock the very foundations of the monarchy. The highly anticipated and deeply feared tell-all revelations from Sarah, Duchess of York, more commonly known around the world as Fergie. The prospect of the Duchess speaking candidly about her decades spent adjacent to the inner sanctum of the firm has become the topic of intense, often hushed discussion. Many within and outside the royal sphere genuinely fear the sheer volume of dirty laundry she has access to, intimate, potentially shocking, and undeniably damaging details that could shatter the carefully curated image of the royal institution. Before we embark on this intricate journey into the world of royal secrets and financial desperation, do remember to tap that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our in-depth analyses. Your support helps us bring these detailed breakdowns directly to you. The gravity of this situation was recently analyzed with chilling clarity by a highly respected authority on royal matters, expert Samara Gill, during her compelling appearance on The Sun's royal exclusive show. Ms. Gill's perspective has crystallized the fears surrounding the former wife of Prince Andrew, offering a stark assessment of the precarious position the former Duke and Duchess now find themselves in, a predicament that leaves the rest of the royal family profoundly vulnerable. Ms. Gill began her discussion by laying out the central, terrifying truth that underpins this entire saga, a truth rooted in sheer desperation and the absence of traditional constraints. Both her and Andrew have absolutely nothing to lose at this point, she stated firmly. Now let us pause and consider the immense weight carried by that single statement. Nothing to lose. For individuals who were once so fundamentally integrated into the highest echelons of British society, to reach a point where all perceived consequences have evaporated is to become an unpredictable and supremely dangerous force. When the constraints of loyalty, reputation, and future security are stripped away, the incentive to protect the institution that once housed you vanishes entirely. It is precisely this removal of consequence that elevates the risk exponentially. With that sword of Damocles hanging overhead, the understanding that their personal standing can barely sink lower. The question then becomes terrifyingly simple. Who knows whose dirty laundry they will then air out? Ms. Gill was quick to hypothesize on the likely targets of any such explosive exposé, offering a strategic observation that might bring a momentary, chilling relief to Andrew, but widespread panic elsewhere. She posited, "I don't think it'll be their own." This is the strategic maneuver that truly worries royal commentators and perhaps, more importantly, the palace aides. If Sarah Ferguson chooses to speak, she is unlikely to focus solely on her own well-documented struggles or the public controversies that have enveloped Prince Andrew. While self-reflection might sell a few copies, highly damaging, previously unrevealed secrets about senior members of the royal family, those who still hold positions of power and public trust, would command global attention and, crucially, a far greater price tag. And indeed, the financial element is what truly accelerates the fear factor surrounding this potential breach of royal confidence. Ms. Gill highlighted the staggering financial incentives currently being discussed, noting, "I think that because of the big amounts of money, six-figure sums that are being thrown around for this interview, who knows who she'll talk about?" Six-figure sums. Let that sink in. This isn't just a quiet chat over tea. This is a highly orchestrated, globally marketed release of information designed to generate massive profits. To justify such a monumental financial outlay, the revelations cannot be merely gossipy or nostalgic. They must be explosive, definitive, and involve figures whose public image is currently pristine or essential to the monarchy's stability. The implication here is clear. The higher the price, the more sensitive the secrets. And the most sensitive secrets usually involve people who have the most to lose. As Ms. Gill concluded her sharp assessment, she offered a direct forecast regarding the Duchess of York's potential narrative strategy. She suggested that Fergie would likely steer clear of the most immediate family damage, stating, "She probably won't brief about Andrew. She probably won't even really talk about herself unless it's about her struggle. This calculated avoidance is key. By focusing on her personal challenges, her battles with debt, her health issues, or her relationship with the late queen, she maintains a degree of sympathy. But the real danger lies in the final, stark warning issued by Ms. Gill. She might talk about other royal family members and throw them under the bus. Throw them under the bus. This is the phrase that echoes through the halls of commentary. Who are these other royal family members? Are they members of the current working core? Are they historical figures whose reputations are still fiercely protected? Given Sarah Ferguson's unique perspective, having been both an outsider and an intimate insider for decades, the scope of her potential targets is vast and deeply concerning. She has a viewpoint that stretches from the height of the Princess Diana era right up to the modern challenges facing the current king and queen. This expert analysis from Samara Gill arrives shortly after an anonymous source provided an even more granular breakdown of the Duchess's current financial motivations. A breakdown that paints a picture of extreme pressure and a desperate need for liquidity. According to this insider, Sarah Ferguson's relationship with money has always been characterized by a certain royal detachment. Money has never been an issue for Sarah, the source explained. She spent more than she had and somebody else always picked up the tab. For years, the Duchess of York existed in a state of financial dependency, but one cushioned by a constant stream of benevolence. She has, according to this source, been very well taken care of over the years by various boyfriends, friends, and acquaintances. This narrative suggests a life where the traditional responsibilities of personal budgeting were consistently mitigated by others stepping in to cover the shortfalls, maintaining her expected standard of living. However, the source reveals that this comfortable, if precarious, arrangement has now fundamentally collapsed. Yet for the first time in a good while, she is now seriously worried about how on earth she's going to maintain her lifestyle. This shift from subsidized comfort to genuine fear over basic maintenance is the engine driving the tell-all speculation. It is not just about paying bills, it is about sustaining the lifestyle expected of a senior, albeit non-working, royal figure, the properties, the staff, the travel, and the perceived security that comes with it. Why the sudden acute financial distress? The source points to a brutal reality check delivered by the commercial world. The Duchess of York has become commercially radioactive. She's too toxic to touch for every single brand and charity she'd previously worked with, the insider lamented. This commercial pariah status is a direct consequence of the ongoing controversies surrounding her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, and the residual damage from her own past business dealings. Where she once commanded large fees for speaking engagements, product endorsements, or charity ambassadorships, the door has slammed shut. Corporations, increasingly sensitive to public image and shareholder scrutiny, simply cannot afford the risk of association, and the drying up of income is compounded by the loss of perks. The source confirms that even the non-monetary benefits she once enjoyed have vanished, and even the lavish freebies she used to be gifted have stopped. Think about the implications of this. For decades, royal adjacency guarantees a flow of complementary goods, services, and hospitality, a significant component of maintaining a high-end lifestyle without direct outlay. When the free trips, the designer clothes, and the exclusive gifts cease, the true cost of maintaining the facade of royalty falls squarely and suddenly onto the individual, revealing the profound gap between income and expenditure. This combination of commercial toxicity and the cessation of traditional subsidies creates a perfect storm of financial desperation. When you couple this intense, urgent need for a massive cash injection with Samara Gill's observation that she and Andrew have absolutely nothing to lose, the path toward an explosive, damaging tell-all becomes inevitable. The palace, therefore, is facing a nightmare scenario. A former insider, deeply knowledgeable about decades of internal workings, who is both financially desperate and psychologically unconstrained by traditional loyalties. She possesses the keys to secrets that could undermine trust in the highest offices of the British state. If the six-figure sums being discussed materialize, it means that a media outlet or publisher is willing to bet a fortune that Sarah Ferguson's revelations will be historic, highly damaging, and directed squarely at those who are still working members of the firm. This is not merely celebrity gossip. This is the potential exposure of systemic flaws, historical cover-ups, or private betrayals that have been hidden behind the royal curtain for years. The choice of who to throw under the bus will be strategic. It must be someone whose downfall maximizes the financial return. This could involve historical details concerning the late Queen's children, or perhaps complex interfamily dynamics that have been carefully obscured from the public eye. In conclusion, the situation surrounding Sarah Ferguson is no longer a matter of idle speculation. It is a clear and present danger to the stability and reputation of the monarchy. Royal expert Samara Gill has meticulously broken down the two driving forces: the psychological freedom derived from having nothing to lose, and the immense financial pressure represented by those seductive six-figure sums. The insider information confirms that her financial woes are real, urgent, and driven by her current status as commercially too toxic to touch. When the lavish freebies stop and the creditors loom, loyalty often yields to necessity. The coming months will undoubtedly test the resilience of the royal family as they brace themselves for what may be the most candid and potentially destructive set of revelations in recent memory, stemming from a source uniquely positioned at the heart of the storm. What are your thoughts on this unprecedented situation? Do you believe Sarah Ferguson has the right to expose these royal secrets, especially if it is driven by financial necessity? And critically, who do you fear she might be targeting with these potentially seismic revelations? Share your opinions in the comments below. We always appreciate your insightful contributions to the discussion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for our next celebrity update as we continue to track this developing story and its profound implications for the British monarchy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.